Hey, happy Friday. I am not on campus today. I'm away at a meeting. Most of today you're going to have to work on your assignment. But first, let's go ahead and look at our warm-up. It says compare using greater than, less than, or equal to. So the first one, absolute value of 12 is 12. Let's make it right better. Is 12. And I have just a negative 12. Well, positives are always greater than negatives. There we go. So positive 12 is greater than negative 12. All right, so the next one. Absolute value of 12, again, is 12. And then the second one, absolute value of negative 12, is also 12. Don't forget, absolute value is the number of jumps it takes to get to 0, and it's always positive. So therefore, these are equal. And the last one, absolute value of negative 12 is 12. And then I just have a negative 12 on the right-hand side. Positives are always greater than negatives. Looking at the right-hand side, it says circle all the equations below that are true. Well, absolute value of 5 is equal to 5. There's positive. Absolute value of 26 is equal to a positive 26, not negative. Absolute value of negative 9 is always positive, so that is true. Absolute value of negative 7 as well is always positive, so that is true. And the last one, absolute value of 4, well, should always be positive, so therefore this one is not correct. Hopefully y'all got that correct. Make sure you have checked it within your notebook. All right, look at the paper that you should have picked up on your way in today. I'm going to do a couple of problems with you, and then you are on your own for the rest of it. I'm going to leave it up to the sub to decide if you can work independently or if you're allowed to work with a partner. So unless she says otherwise, we're going to work on this silently and quietly during class. If the sub decides it's okay to work with a partner at your table, you may do that. However, if you get too loud, the sub's going to write down names, and you there will be a consequence. So just be aware. Alrighty, let's look at our homework. It should be titled Independent and Dependent Practice. Looking at number 1. Now, you'll see this anchor chart over here on the right-hand side. That is also posted in the room. So please make sure you're looking at it as you go through, because it's going to be very, very helpful for you. All right, number 1 says, down here at the bottom, it says for numbers 1 through 4, label I for the independent quantity and D for dependent, and label X and Y. Well, I'm going to start with X and Y. I know this is always X, so we're on number 1, so you're just writing where I'm writing, and this is Y. We're also going to say this is independent, and this is dependent. Again, if you look at your anchor chart, it's free answers. All the answers are right there. Just so you know, this anchor chart will also be up during your test. So if you come across a problem like this, look at it. Those are free answers for you. So number 1, all you had to do is label. Same thing with 2, 3, and 4. Looking at number 5, it says which statement describing the table is not true. So we're looking over here. So first of all, as I kind of skim through my answer choices, I see a whole lot of independent, dependent, depends, determines. So I want to go ahead and label this. I know that this is independent and this is dependent. So on your paper, make sure you have that labeled as well. In fact, you should probably be in the habit of going ahead and just labeling it to begin with. All right, A says the number of quarters is dependent. Well, if I come over here, number of quarters is independent, not dependent. So I'm going to say that one is not true. B, the number of quarters is independent. Number of quarters, independent. I believe we're good to go right there. Oops. C, the amount of money depends on the number of quarters. Well, let's look right here. You wrote that in your notes yesterday. I see the word depends. So we're saying that dependent depends on independent. So if I look over here, dependent depends on independent. So money depends on quarters. Money depends on quarters. So that is a true statement. I'm going to clear up my screen a little. So we said that is a true statement. And D, the number of quarters determines the amount of money. I see quarters determines money. So again, if I come over here and look, it's the independent that determines the dependent. So independent determines dependent. So quarters determines money. Quarters determines money. Yep, that works as well. So the answer that is not true is letter A. Now, I know you're saying, why did I go through all the other choices if A was my answer to begin with? Well, what if I made a mistake on A? We need to make sure you're reading carefully. Sometimes we miss that word not, and A might have been a correct answer, but it would have been marked wrong because I missed that word. It's just a way to kind of double check and add an extra kind of layer of reassurance that I know what my answer is correct. So please make sure you're checking all choices, not just stopping at the first one if it happens to be correct. All right, number 8. Number 8 says 5 verbal descriptions are given below. It says which of the verbal descriptions can be written using an equation. Select 3 correct answers. Now, we haven't talked too much about this yet, so let's kind of look at it together. First of all, an equation has almost the whole word of equal. An equation, EQUA, almost says equal. So an equation is going to have an equal sign. So an equation is going to have an equal sign. Now, as I read through these words, they're words, I don't see an equal sign. But the key word for equation or a key word for equals is. So if I look at number 1 here, 7 times of number D decreased by 3. Do you see the word is? Nope. So that's not it. B, a number P decreased by 2 is 8. Okay, we see it because what that says is it's going to be equal to 8, is 8. So B is a correct, but remember, I want 3 correct answers. So number 3, 2/3 of a number H is 5. So yep. 4 plus 5 is 9. That's an easy one. Literally, it says 4 plus 5 is 9. And 5, the quotient of 21 and 7. I do not see the word is, so that is not it. So my correct answers are B, C, and D. We're actually, I believe, going to talk about this type of question pretty soon. So we're going to be a little ahead when we get there. So just remember, the word equation means equals, and a keyword for equal is. All right, like I said, here's the anchor chart. So make sure that you're looking at it throughout the lesson today, and you have the rest of class to complete this. If you don't finish, it is homework. If you do finish, you're going to keep it keep it in your folder and save it for Monday. We will grade it Monday in class. If you don't have it on Monday, it's going in the grade book as a 0. So do not lose this over the weekend. All right, y'all go ahead and get started. And like I said, what's not finished is homework.